What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler. This is Sean. And if it's your first time joining us, we're Rendered Reality, your weekly VR podcast. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. We really do appreciate it, for joining the discussion, joining us live. Definitely makes for our week. And are you drinking out of a PD mug?
I am. I actually today I have a PD mug and a VR roundtable mug.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't even have a Rendered Reality mug today.
That collection's real, man. That's ridiculous.
If you are new, this show is called Coffee and VR. The coffee, emphasis on the coffee part, because we're big coffee people for sure. So hopefully you can grab your cup of coffee and join us this morning for some VR talks. We got some pretty interesting stuff going on. It's been a crazy week. If you haven't been watching, it is your first time. Me and Tyler just got back from PAX East last Sunday, late Sunday night, and we have a ton of footage to get through. We've been trying to put out a video like every single day from PAX this past week. We've been successful so far. I think we've put out a video every day, some days two, and we still have, I think, 6 or 7 videos we're planning to get out. So
it's ridiculous. I know. Have you ever recovered from PAX? I feel like I'm still just like
I'm just starting to feel better. Last week was a struggle. Going to work every day and stuff was a struggle, but yeah, I'm finally starting to feel a little bit normal again. But man, it was a blast. We had a good time.
I know.
So
I almost got screwed coming back on my plane. There is actually a luggage situation where the plane was full of luggage by the time I got on, like in the overhead bins. So they had to check in my carry-on bag. And I had a backpack and a carry-on because I was flying American Airlines. And they said I have to check it. And I'm like, there's camera equipment.
Yeah, we can't check that.
Checking my bag. So I'm like literally standing, like the plane's waiting. I'm like ripping into my bags, trying to get equipment out, throw in my other bag, threw the one under the plane. It all worked out. But
craziness.
Oh man, I was so nervous. But
it was a good
that's
time.
how it goes.
It was a good time.
I know. Which, speaking of, all my equipment, we did list some of our equipment down below in the description. If you guys were curious, I know we posted some of that on our Discord and stuff.
Some pictures and stuff. Good time. Man, we had such a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome. We had some awesome interviews with developers. We got to meet some developers that we had met online and talked to online, had on our show even. We got to meet some of them in person, which was really, really cool. So, man, it was an awesome time.
Yeah, meeting people. We had people recognizing us at our hotel
which was
even.
awesome.
Like,
that was really, really cool.
It's like, come
on. Got a picture with us. That was so cool. So
no. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. We'll talk more about it. I'm sure,
well, one thing I do want to mention real quick, we forgot to mention last time, we are doing a Gleam giveaway for a $20 Steam gift card. The link to that is in the description. We set that up before our last show when we were going live from PAX, and we totally forgot to even mention it. So we just wanted to throw that out there real quick. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for that, I think it's got 2 days left, so make sure you sign up for that.
I think we ended up Monday.
I think Monday. So so make sure you watch your emails, because if you get an email, make sure you watch your junk folder and everything else. You got 24 hours to respond to that, and then we'll send you a Steam key for $20. So make sure you watch that. Yeah, we redraw. So pretty awesome. But one of the big things I think we wanted to get into right off the bat was the fact that you can possibly get a Valve Index. I know this isn't like super new news. You know, it's been going around this whole week. I think it started as kind of a thing on Reddit where people were talking about it on Reddit, and then Valve actually put that out there, and it's on the Steam page. If you go to the Steam page, it actually shows that is going to be this Monday. And the time frames are a little bit weird because it listed it as what was it, 5 p.m. UDT, I think.
UTC.
And most people are saying that is 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific time, but when we looked it up, that shows 9 a.m. Pacific time.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
And I kept asking, I'm like, so who put out this 10 a.m. Pacific time or whatever? And, was it officially from Valve or was it other people? And we really didn't see an official one of that time
Yeah,
from
I think
Valve.
on Valve it said they might have changed it. I can look it up again.
I don't know if somebody's lost
maybe
it in translation or
maybe somebody understands the time zones a little bit better. But according to our calculations, it's supposed to be 9 a.m. Pacific, and that's I think noon Eastern time.
Correct.
If you're in the U.S.
Yep.
So I don't know how many of these things there's going to be. I know a lot of people have been waiting for them, and I don't know if there's going to be like 500 or like 5,000 or what. I have no idea. So your internet's being a little weird, but it's weird. Changing resolutions on me. But yeah, so I don't know how many we're gonna have of those things, but hopefully it'll be.
And if everybody's waiting till 10 o'clock to actually get them, maybe they're gonna go at 9 Pacific. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, if everybody's waiting for
an hour head
10
start,
Pacific, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me. I don't understand all the time zones, but hopefully you can get one of these things. Though, if you've been waiting, I don't know that they're. From what it looks like it's just going to be the full kit, is what it seems like. But I'm not sure.
Honestly, though, I don't know why anybody. Well, I mean, I don't. There could be people with vibes that don't want to. Want to keep their wands and stuff and have the base stations.
Or save
I get
the money,
that, but
don't have the $1,000 for a kit. I mean, it's one of the most
right. It is, but I think the people looking at that are probably expecting to spend that. I mean, I don't know. Is anybody even now in chat or comments? Are you picking one up? Because I do. It's my go-to headset. It's sitting right in front of me. Controllers are right here. I mean, it's the best thing. I think. I do. The controllers. I like the features of it. The ergonomics, maybe not as much. But the controllers are absolutely amazing. What?
That was me.
I'm doing magic tricks over here. Don't even know it.
Yeah,
man.
for real. I was trying to look for. There was a. Let's see here. I had the actual.
It is a great set, though. I mean, I know it's expensive. I totally get it, but I know, and I kind of wanted to talk about this anyway. But go ahead.
On here, so this is even from, so I don't know what the time doesn't make sense. This is actually from Valve's Twitter. So this says March 9th starting at 10 a.m. PDT and 5 p.m. UTC.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So I don't know. It's super confusing. I don't really understand that. I only know U.S. time zone, so everything else really confuses me. But yeah, I don't know.
I looked up cross-reference the UTC on 5 p.m. and it says 9 a.m. PDT. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off.
Just be ready. I mean, the most important thing you can do is be ready, because I think these things are going to sell out.
I would be ready at 8
Yeah,
a.m.
just keep hitting refresh until that thing goes live, because I imagine these things are going to sell out crazy quick. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. They are. It's so nice. It really is.
Yeah, I love it.
Super good headset. Highly recommend it. Honestly, I have about every range of headset, and that's my go-to.
Yeah.
And I know it's expensive, so I did want to talk about this, if you don't mind me getting into this, Sean, a little bit. I know
Go ahead.
I kind of said something before the show. So, we posted some videos and stuff over the last week, and I read a comment in one of them, I think it was on Reddit maybe, that somebody said, everyone's afraid to spend money on a headset, because they act like that's why they don't have VRs, because it's expensive, or that's why they hate on it. Which I understand, it can be expensive getting into it. But if you're into gaming anyways, and people are out buying these peripherals like the next level GPU or a monitor that costs $400 or $500, $700, $800. So, for them to sit and complain about it, the gain that you get out of buying the next level GPU isn't probably, you're going to notice it, sure.
Depending on what you're starting out with and what you're getting. I mean, that depends a little bit.
Next level, these people that buy like top end stuff.
Yeah, like one bump up or something like that.
Exactly. Right. They go from a 2080 to a 2080 Ti or something. So then they buy monitors that are these high refresh rates or wrap screen, the curved monitors, and pay all that money, but they get no gain out of it really in what they're doing. When you buy VR and invest in that, you are getting a whole new world. You're not just getting an upgrade to a monitor. You're not just getting an upgrade to a mouse or a keyboard. You are changing gaming for your whole life, basically.
I mean, a noticeable change. I mean, when you buy one of them new monitors and stuff, I mean, you're going from what, like 120 hertz to I don't even know what they have now. I mean, can you really see that? I don't even know on a flat monitor. I don't know.
You're gaining pixels. Where if you buy a VR headset, you are being teleported into your freaking monitor, into the game. Like, there's no, I don't know. But for all these people that hate on it and stuff, I really feel like
that don't even have one. they're hitting on it. They don't even have one. They don't even know what to expect. But
I don't think they're afraid of it. I think they don't want what they love to change. They don't want it to go to VR maybe,
right.
or they just haven't experienced it. And I totally understand that. But, you know, it's hard to hear people hate on it and stuff. It really is.
Awesome. Rizzle Rock, that's awesome. Man. He said, because this is my favorite show. We appreciate that. That's
we do really appreciate it. We really do. We appreciate all the kind words. We had even one of the developers, I think, on the last video say something, and I rewatched it, and I'm just like, that's really nice
thanking
to
us
hear.
for coming out there. It was awesome. I mean, we really do. Yep. Honestly, we do the show because we love VR. We do the show because we talk about it anyways. We love to get involved with the chat and see their thoughts and everything else. It's just a ton of fun for us. We look forward to this. You know, we've said this before. We look forward to it every week. I did want to throw this out there real quick. Anakaze cleared up the confusion. PDT stands for Pacific Daylight Time. So that's what we're missing because we have daylight savings time this weekend. The time we're going to set our clocks forward or whatever we're doing. So that's where the confusion comes in. So thank you for him for clearing that up because I think that is what it is, and that's why
that would be that makes sense.
That's why our calculation was showing something different. Didn't even think about that. Totally. Thank you for that. So
interesting. Good call. Yeah, I guess I wasn't.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So then what? UTC doesn't have daylight savings?
Well, I don't even think the West Coast. I don't think Pacific does daylight savings time. Do they? I don't remember. I know East Coast does.
They'd have to if the time was different.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I'm sure it's because of that hour change this weekend. That's what we're seeing that for.
So. I learned something new. That's awesome, man.
That's what it is. So I didn't know that either, so I'm glad he put that in there. I just happened to see that in chat, and I was like, okay, I want to talk about that because we were really confused. We were talking about that before going on the show, and we were like, what is going on with this? This isn't adding up. So, So
cool.
Let's talk a little bit about Half Life Alyx stuff because, I mean, it's hard because, you know, we almost go into the show, and we're like, man, we talk about Half Life Alyx all the time, but it's such a huge thing for VR, and I know there's so much stuff that came out this past week. Like, how can we not talk about it? So,
I got to see it. I got to be in it. Like, So how could I not talk about that?
So this is just a random recording of me and Tyler going into these environments together. I didn't edit it. All thing I did was chopped off the very beginning and the very end. But we hopped into this together, and I mean, what did you think? Tell me your thoughts.
The detail, man. Yeah. The first and foremost, the detail. Like, obviously, everything I expected was going to be good. Like, the look of it, the lighting, the depth, everything I see, I felt like I knew was already going to be good. But when I say detail, I'm talking like pulling up like a circuit board, looking at it, and like reading the name on the processor even and being crystal clear. I mean, all of it.
Were you in your index?
Gosh, yes.
Okay, I was in the Index too, so I haven't actually even seen this in the Rift S or any other headset. The Index is the only thing I've went into it so far, but yeah, I mean, I was absolutely blown away. And here's me actually trying to get Tyler to join or whatever.
It was so good.
But
though.
Yeah, I mean, and supposedly this isn't even running in engine or whatever. So I imagine the actual game is going to look even better than this, which is kind of hard to imagine because I mean, like the level of detail really was insane. I mean, even we were talking about there was one point in time in this room that I was just looking at the ceiling because there was so much stuff stuck up in the ceiling and stuff that I was just like, there's just so much to look at. And I was watching MRTV. He was doing a thing where he was going into this environment in the 8KX. Yeah. And he was talking about he hopes for Half Life Alyx that there's a lot more interactivity because there were things in here that you could pick up and there was things you could interact with, but there were some things that you couldn't. And
there is. We already know there is.
I mean, from watching the videos, especially the videos that came out this past week, I mean, it seemed like everything you could touch. I mean, the fact that, they picked up the trash can and they stuck it on the thing up there and they were, I mean, it seemed like they were messing with everything, kind of like Boneworks. So, I mean, man, I don't know. I love this environment. I mean, it's just so cool.
Oh, I agree.
Everything about teleporting, I didn't like, but.
I love right, well, clearly. Yeah,
but
I love, like, looking at everything. You know what I mean? Picking it up. They had, like, that scanner, that yellow scanner that you could pick up, and just the little tiny details on it, like the screens in it. Trust me, it is if you guys haven't been in here yet, please do, or let us know. We will gladly get in with you.
You can host a room, details. And I guess there's actually another way to go around getting into it.
There you can see me.
If you don't have it yet, Tyler's character there. If you
I'm
don't
going through walls.
Yeah, so the reason you get this is if you have an index or you pre-ordered an index or whatever, you get these environments and you can go into them, but you can also go into them with friends, and there's a bunch of public ones. So even if you don't have a friend, I've seen a bunch of public ones too that you can just hop into if you want to take a look around. And there is another workaround for doing it. But one thing I do want to mention is that you can get outside of where you're supposed to go. Me and Tyler, in the other environment, we explored way beyond what was actually you were supposed to. And we've done this in other games.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, a lot of games will have collisions on. So when you get to that wall or that barrier of the area that they don't want you to go past, you stick your head into it or something like that, and then the screen will either go black or it just won't let you. It'll stop you from entering it. Well, in this, you can stick your head inside anything. So you can look around inside any of the walls. And if you have a big enough VR room, which me and Tyler both have a pretty decent sized VR space, you can actually go up to the edge of that wall, face it, and then physically walk through the wall. And then what we would do is we would walk in our space as far as you could walk. Then you would turn your character, and then you would walk again. And you could go pretty much anywhere you want to go.
Turn yourself around.
Right.
Turn yourself around. Look back to where you're coming. Then turn your character, 180, and then just keep walking. I've got like a 25-foot run here, so I went far out there.
Yeah, I was having trouble keeping up with him because mine's not quite as big, and I kept having to walk and turn, and he was pretty far out there. And you'll kind of see some of that at the end. But and we were even talking about in this space that there was that one little room with the door halfway open that we went into, and there was a hole in the floor. And I kind of got down and was looking down through there. But you were saying that if you could actually line that up with your staircase and walk down in there, and I was like, man, that's just hard to think about.
That would be trippy crazy. Though, but yeah, but it's possible. I mean, I've done it with like the Quest and stuff with boundaries and everything. It works like that too. So
we actually did it in Arizona Sunshine a long time ago, and the one Horde map, we were unlocking doors and doing all kinds of stuff by like reaching through the wall and like all kinds of crazy. So we pretty much unlocked the whole map without actually going through the waves to get there, if that makes sense. So.
Contractors, we used to pick people off. We'd hide outside the map in contractors. The two maps
we didn't really use that to our advantage in contractors.
No.
We would just mess with people because it was pretty unfair and probably not legal. But we would go outside of the map and then we would just like throw stuff at people and like mess with them. And they'd be like, "Where are you at?"
The two maps we have in Pavlov, we built that into our game. That there was a way to get out of the map and get up into like towers and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
there's actually like a really high sniper post that's like really really far away. But with a sniper rifle, you can see everyone.
That hidden stuff in games is what makes it amazing. Like Boneworks is full of it. We know this probably will be too.
Yeah.
It's just, I love that stuff. It's the best. Really is.
It's awesome. I really hope in the actual game, which I'm sure they won't do this like they did in the environment, but hopefully you can't just stick your head through everything and see what's on the other side and all of that stuff. I can't imagine in the actual game you'll be able to do that. I'm sure it's just because it's just a home environment, but it was kind of cool. I mean, we spent a little while in there just trying to see if there was other stuff out and around, and I mean, most of it wasn't. Most of it was just, assets and stuff out there that weren't complete and all that kind of stuff. But it was pretty cool to do. I mean,
it was.
We had a
and
fun
you
time.
couldn't see out the windows and stuff. Like in the game, it'll look, you'll look out a window, it'll be gorgeous, I'm sure.
Yeah, but the level of detail, I mean, in this game is just going to be, oh man, it's going to be absolutely insane. I seriously cannot wait.
Yeah. Fluke Rogi in chat was saying he avoided all the new trailers and stuff.
Yeah, so
for spoilers and stuff.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I did grab the first two things released by Valve that were video 1 and 2. That goes into, it's not the game, like the 9-minute straight of gameplay. I actually didn't watch that one because I wanted to avoid that one too, because I wanted to avoid spoilers. But the other one shows some of the interactivity and some of the locomotion types and stuff like that. I don't think there's too much spoiler stuff in those. So you can let me know in chat if you just like don't want us to play those, or I can let you know when I'm about to put those on. And if you just want to listen and not watch, I'm not sure, because I don't feel like there's a lot of spoilers in that. But I mean, I guess
there's no spoilers. I guess
anything could be a spoiler depending on how you look at it. Even if you don't want to know how much interactivity there is and stuff, I mean, that could be a spoiler. It just depends on.
Maybe in the beginning of the second, but there's no spoilers. Like there's things that you can do that they show that make me excited. There's nothing that I'm like, oh wow, now this ruined it for me or something. So it's things that get me excited. They're no spoilers, but then again, I can't say because I really haven't played through like all the Half-Lives and stuff. I played a little of them, but
I can't speak for what everybody else thinks are spoilers too. One thing I do want to mention, I have a buddy at work, Charlie. Charlie, and he's played VR. He played VR at my house when you were down here. We had the CV1. Absolutely loved it. I mean, you basically had to tackle him to try to get him off, to get the headset off to give other people turns because he loved it so much. I showed him the first video, the gameplay video, whatever, that Valve put out, the first one. And his jaw hit the floor because he is a big Half-Life fan. And I didn't know that, so I didn't even think about showing him this stuff before because he's not really a big gamer anymore. He used to be. He never really plays games anymore. He's got a couple kids and stuff, so that kind of gets in the way. But I showed him this, and he was just blown away. So I was like, dude, you got to come over, because he hasn't even seen anything through the Valve Index or the Rift S. He's only seen it in the CV1 back in the day. So I'm excited, and I'm going to see maybe if he wants to do a video and I can get his first impressions of this game in VR, coming from a person that loves Half-Life. You know, he was talking about the head crabs, and he's like, dude, I can't even imagine like those things, attacking you in VR. I mean, he was just really cool to hear his perspective of somebody that, that's not into VR and, but was a big Half-Life fan and stuff. So that was pretty exciting to me. There is some other news a little bit about this game that has come out, and one of the things was that, let me see where I put it in my notes. So they are working on a one-handed controller mode for this game, which is kind of cool. I think it was Tyler McVicker that noticed it in the settings in one of the videos, which is kind of cool. I mean, I guess they're talking about, they want this to be as accessible to as many people that possibly can play it. So I mean, there are some people that don't, are limited by, maybe they don't have two hands or arms, or, there's some disabilities or something like that. So see, here's me peeking my head through the wall to see what was on the other side. I did this I did it everywhere to see if I could find any like hidden room anywhere. But that's pretty cool. Another thing that they talked about is that they're going to have 10 different subtitle languages, which is pretty crazy. That's something kind of, I mean, I never even thought about that. You know what I mean? Like for the hearing impaired and stuff, to be able to read what the dialogue is talking about. That's kind of cool. So
it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's neat to see.
VR is a great way to springboard into stuff with somebody with disabilities. And, we talk about it all the time with somebody even just as simple as in a wheelchair. It does so much for people like that. And I love how Microsoft's even come out with their pad, where you can program buttons and stuff, stuff like that's just amazing to make it accessible for everyone.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I think it's cool that they're doing that. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yep, I agree.
And also another thing that I saw is that they're going to have an option for button crouch so that you don't have to physically crouch. And I was never a fan of that until I was forced to use it in Saints and Sinners, and I got used to using that, and then they enabled it to where you could physically crouch, and I found myself sometimes I didn't want to physically crouch, so I got used to using that button, and I would use a combination of the both. And then because some of those drawers are like really close to the ground in Saints and Sinners, so you have to get pretty low, so sometimes I'm like, bam, hit that crouch button, and I think it's Paradise Decay has mentioned, that he has bad knees, a lot of people, stuff like that, so he doesn't want to physically crouch all the time. So honestly, now I think it's a great option to have the feature to do both, and I want the option to be able to have both of them anytime, you know what I mean, on the fly.
Just as I was saying, somebody in a wheelchair, if you're seated is standing in a game where you're walking around, you have no way to actually, your floor is, altered. So you have no way to actually get down. So that's amazing that you can do that, And yeah, even if I just want to be lazy, what if I just wanted to sit in a chair and I didn't ever think I liked playing VR in a chair until I played No Man's Sky for so long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could just sit here, relax for hours at a time and just sit in my chair and play. And that was a lot of fun. And it was very relaxing for me. So it was a totally different experience. I love it. It's cool.
I agree. I mean, in a game like Half Life Alyx, I have a feeling people are going to be spending a lot of time and like long time periods at once. You know what I mean?
I know.
So to be able to have the option to sit and still be able to crouch and stuff like that, it might be a good option. I prefer to play everything pretty much standing, but when I play something for a lot of hours, I mean, my back starts to hurt.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like it's so sometimes it's nice to sit down. So
I actually play mine too on cement. So my feet are what end up getting sore.
Yeah, you need like a big pad, rubber pad or something.
Actually, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go to like one of our hardware stores and I'm going to buy like a 12 by 12 or 10 by 10 piece of carpet and then buy padding for underneath it. And then I'll know that that's my play area. I'll set it a little wider. And if I come off that, I know that to stay on that carpet.
Right.
So I think that'll solve it. I need to do that. I haven't yet, but
that's what I have. I don't even know how big the carpet is that I have in the VR room, and that's what I use. And I know that if I step off of that carpet, I'm out of my play space and I won't break my index controller.
Even just like the game pads. Like if you have a smaller place, those like game pads. I got it. I told you we're not talking about breaking controllers ever again.
My bad.
Nightmares, man.
Yeah, so Skiva007 said, I have bad knees and need the crouch button too. So, I mean, that is a nice feature because, like, cool. A game like Saints and Sinners, you're constantly crouching, when you're scavenging those houses and stuff. So, That is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
So let's see what some.
Sorry, I was reading chat.
Yeah, gamer tag said bad back, knees. I don't. So he said bad back, knees, and sore nipple are only the start of his issues. I'm not sure what I messed up there, but I read that and I was like, wait a minute, am I reading that right? So I'm not sure what I missed, but
oh man,
but that's funny.
I know. No, VR, honestly, like people were saying, like, you know, with kids and can't afford it and all that stuff. Like VR, let's see, VR Mang, you know, he just recently had a child and stuff and, you know, up late and stuff. But how nice is it? You can slip like a Quest on. It's quiet. You're not going to wake anybody. There's no lights on, no visuals. You know, the only bad thing is you are removed from what's going on outside, right?
Right.
So it's too bad you couldn't set up like automated notifications to come up in the Quest, you know, because you are removed.
Coming, right? That's got to be
I would hope that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that. There has to be a good way. I mean, they have notifications built into whatever.
I mean, we need cell phones. I mean, it's sometimes nice to disconnect from your cell phone, I guess, too. But it would be nice to have, you know, the cell phone notifications come up. One of the cool things I've seen people do, I think it was on Reddit or something a while ago, is that somebody actually had their baby monitor.
You can.
They had it pinned in a window, you know, in their Oculus, which is pretty cool. I mean, that they need to expand on that. You know what I mean? Make it easier, make it, you know, that's cool.
With you can download, somebody could get like OVR and pin, because a lot of those webcams, you can access them on the internet. So you could just access it on your computer, pull up OVR, pin that window right in there, or pull it up on the back of your wrist like I do with things. And there you go. You know, you wouldn't have sound, but at least give you something. Pretty cool. Yeah. What'd you see?
Somebody, I see them talking about vorpX. So GT said I've avoided vorpX, but now I'm interested. So now I'm just curious what game they're talking about. I think Rift S Fun got something working in vorpX. Oh, Master Chief Collection plus vorpX equals awesome.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, Master Chief Collection plus vorpX equals awesome.
Come again?
That's pretty cool.
Is this day actually here? Does it actually wait? But is it gamepad or?
Well, yeah, because I mean it's going to be through vorpX, so it's not going to have hand tracking.
It has to be gamepad. Yeah,
but it's going to have. It's going to be like GTA. It's going to be the same kind of thing as playing GTA. You know, you got a gamepad, but you still have head tracking and stuff. I mean, not full VR support, but still kind of cool to go in and be able to see. I mean, GTA, people love that. I mean, that's a lot of fun to do. I mean, would I rather have tracked motion controllers and be able to do, you know, true GTA VR style? Heck yeah, but it's still nice to get into some of that stuff and just see those worlds. It's Halo, man. Incredible. Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's awesome.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Subscribe, like. I'm out. Later.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what are you doing? I was like, what are you talking about?
Man, dude, this day is it really working though? That's the thing. Like, does it really work?
Yeah, he said it's awesome, so you might have to check it out. Might have to check that out.
Keyboard and mouse. If they have it for game, if it works on gamepad, I'm 100% in.
Yeah.
If it's keyboard and mouse, I can't do it. I can't do keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, you can. You do it in GTA. You can do it.
I don't like keyboard and mouse, man.
Well, I mean, gamepad. Oh, you said if it's gamepad you're in, or you said?
Yeah, if it's gamepad, I'm in. Keyboard and mouse, I can't do. Yeah. I can't do it.
So what are people thinking about the?
Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
Rift Fun says can use touch controls.
What? Like tracked, or you just use it as a gamepad? So are you using the touch controls as a gamepad, or are you using them as actual motion controlled tracked?
What? Okay.
So Paradise Decay
says he could not get Halo to work on vorpX, but it looks like it's working, and you can use mouse and keyboard. I played Battlefield 5 the other day and had an option of gamepad and mouse and keyboard. Huh. Okay, look, if anybody gets it to work with gamepad, DM me wherever you can find me, and I'm on it, man. Oh, that's epic. I just want to visually see it too, though. Like, I want to play it though, but
yeah, it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is breaking news for me. That's for sure.
I mean, I haven't messed with any of the vorpX stuff either. Mainly because I just feel like there's so much stuff in VR to play already. Like I don't get to play everything I want to and have the time to play it. So I haven't messed with vorpX.
You have to screw with it usually for so long. You know, for us, time is very valuable for what we get to play. So for me to bury myself in 2 or 3 hours of trying to get something to work, I don't know if I can do it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, some of them, there's guides and stuff that make it pretty simple now for some of the games, for some of the more popular vorpX games. But yeah,
there is. I know. So We had a lot of fun though playing what we played against each other at PAX, dude. Oh my gosh.
Which one?
I still was thinking about that.
Which game?
All like the multiplayers that we could play at the same time. Like, okay, first, I love the concept of SMUSH, that you can have one VR headset and then the other person's just at your house, you know, because if you have somebody over to play, they're just waiting on you. So with this, you have somebody playing on the TV or on your monitor,
Right.
and then you have somebody in VR playing against you.
That's the one trailer
so
I don't
much
have
fun.
right now, but yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah.
And that was actually a very close battle because we had, so what they were doing is they were putting one person in VR and one person on flat screen, and you were facing each other, and then
we
they
were
would
not
have you
prepped.
switch.
Like, we were not prepped with like strategy or
Oh
anything.
no, like this is the first time we ever played. Yeah, this is the first time we ever played.
Man.
We watched some people play a little bit. But so first off the bat, you went into VR and I was on the flat screen. And the way the VR player wins is that you're building these blocks and they get all the way up the top of your blocks and they get out before you can smush them with one of your blocks. And it gets harder the higher you go. And, you know, there's some strategy. So I was on the last line. There was one line left. And I got out. Like, so
I did, but it was a miscommunication on my part, like with the person who put me in. I didn't think you could go if a block was out, like higher. I didn't think you could go to it. I thought you had to get to that level.
Oh yeah.
So there was a block that was sticking like up past, and I thought, okay, he can't get to it.
Yeah.
But then he just jumped to it and ended up winning. And
I was
trying to block him off onto half of it and split the board, so he was jammed onto one.
So I was jammed on one side. Yeah.
And even the developers and stuff were like, holy crap, you guys are way too good at this.
Yeah, that's what because they're used to most people not playing VR, so they're used to the person on the flat screen almost always winning. You know what I mean? Because the person in VR is learning VR and learning how to play the game at the same time.
And we were going hard.
Yeah. So they ended up once we got done and we switched. They were like, "Do you guys want to do it on a harder?" Because they had no power ups and they had it on the easiest level, which the music goes by the BPM and stuff, and that's how the blocks come down, which is really cool.
Which you can put your own songs in then too and do that with, which is awesome.
So they had it on the easiest setting for the show, and that's what we went into. We got and we got out, and they're like, "Do you guys want to do it again on a harder song?" It's pretty crazy on a harder song, and we didn't do it because there was a long line of people waiting, and we didn't want to take another turn from somebody else. So we're like, "No,
I
did too." But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean,
the other one we had fun with, which we don't have to get into all because I don't want to, but Takelings was a lot of fun too to play against each other, that would be epic to have for a house party.
Yeah, we actually are having people over this evening, and I was thinking about moving because I have the laptop. I have the gaming laptop. I thought about taking that downstairs to the living room and hooking it up to the TV.
Yeah, sure you could.
And playing down there because I mean it is a blast. On that one, you have people on gamepad on a TV or whatever.
You can have somebody. One's in VR, and the other six, can be on the PC. So one can be at the computer that you have it running off of.
Yeah.
And then the others can download the free app for it and play off of that. Or if you have gamepads, like I think they were using
Xbox
like 360 controllers, old,
Yeah, something like that.
All of those work with it. So, you don't even have to own anything else. You can just download the app.
I wish I would have grabbed the trailer for that. I didn't. But I mean, it's so much fun because you have all these little miniature people running all around this scene, and the person in VR just has to grab them. Like I was grabbing them and trying to smush them in the waffle iron maker, but you had to have it plugged in, and you would look down and one of the little takelings is on the plug, like trying to pull it off, and you're grabbing that. It's a ton of fun. And one of the later levels, it was just the kitchen level that we played there, but they said one of the later levels, you're in like the basement, and the little takelings people are like crawling up the wall, and you're using a hammer to bust out like the drywall to try to get them out of the wall
inside a broken old 2x4 like wall.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Cracks in it, you see them run across, and you're like smashing holes in it and trying to get it to them and stuff.
I don't think that has full online support yet. It's just local multiplayer right now, but it's coming. So once it comes, I can't wait. We need to get a bunch of people into that because that would be a ton of fun. If we can all do it online, that'd be hilarious. So much fun. So much fun. And we also talked about Spaceteam VR, which I know a lot of people are really excited about. We talked about that a little bit on the last episode. Amazing. I do have a trailer for this one, but a ton of people, I didn't realize how many people have actually played this mobile version.
Right.
So a lot of people, a lot of people didn't know about this, and they've seen this and they're like pumped about this because they like the mobile version so much. So if it's a game you love on mobile and then you're able to jump into the game in VR with friends and other people, again, people not in VR too, can do it.
It was so funny to get to watch people play this too.
Yeah.
Like to be an outsider and watch it, because like they're yelling at each other, trying to get them to do stuff and screaming, telling you to dance at certain parts and, objectives you have to do.
It's hilarious.
It
so a couple of these we already have our videos out on. Takelings, we don't have the video out on yet. That's coming. Like I said, we have like 6 more we're trying to do. So, but yeah, we had a blast at PAX. We really did.
It was so much fun.
We've still been talking about it. I can't wait to go to another one if that's even possible. So I guess that could take us into our next story.
Right.
Did I put that up there?
So what we were talking about last week, how instead of these conferences being, canceled and stuff, why not just do it in VR, right?
Right. Yep. So that was my thought. What Vive decided to do. So their next Vive Ecosystem Conference 2020 is going to be in VR. It's going to be hosted in VR. If you look in the description below, there's actually a link to where it's going to be at. And I guess the public can go to it. I don't think you have to buy tickets or anything. There's an app or program that you have to download, and you should be able to enter into it in VR, which is pretty exciting. So
I think more of this needs to happen, especially, you're encompassing what your company is producing and pushing.
Especially for VR. It makes sense for VR.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The only problem with this kind of stuff, conferences and stuff is, if you're coming out with a new product and you want people to try that product, obviously you're not going to be able to try that product in VR. You know what I mean? That's going to be the difficult part. But
there's a display room with all their headsets on tables that you can go over and pick them up and look at them and stuff. Like, yeah, you can't try them, but you can sit there and be like, wow, this looks like a quality piece of hardware. You know, I mean, that stuff like that would just be amazing. But
I think this is something they're going to have. People are going to have to start going to, at least for the time being, with all this stuff going on right now with GDC getting moved or canceled. I have a feeling it's not actually going to take place in the summertime. We'll see. But I mean, it's cool, and I wouldn't mind checking this thing out. So this is this month on the 19th, it looks like. So that's pretty spectacular that at least they're going to do something like this. And I mean, HTC Vive, is kind of in a weird spot right now. So, they need some good press stuff. So hopefully this works out really well for them.
I am, but I'll have to see because this may have to run on PC. I'm not sure, but I will actually be on vacation next week. And I plan on taking my Quest because I really want everyone down there to try it too, because I'm going down to see some family and stuff.
Yep.
And I wonder if I could access it from there. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not sure either.
So it says
hopefully
the Vive Ecosystem Conference is slated to take place on March 19th in Engage, the education and training focused social VR platform created by Immersive VR Education, the same minds behind VR experiences Apollo 11 and Titanic VR.
That's cool. So it'll be quality. Apollo 11's awesome.
Yeah, so it should be pretty good.
Yeah, should be. That's cool.
And I don't know what we're going to get out of this conference, but it says last year there was a number of announcements, including global pricing, availability of Vive Focus Plus, announcement of several updates to the Vive Wave. I don't know what to expect this year, but
I just hope it's more than just like a 360 video. That's all. That's all I hope for.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, which, don't get me wrong, would be great. So next step would be stereoscopic 360, and then the next would be an actual 3D world, with maybe images projected or video projected up on a monitor or something. That would just be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to have a mix of actual video footage as well as an actual rendered 3D space that you can do different things, interact with, have avatars and all that. It does say the link in the description, that Engage link that we put on there, it says that you do need to sign up for the event and reserve a spot. So if you are interested in checking this out, make sure you go to that. I didn't realize that either. I just read that.
Gotcha.
So make sure you do sign up for a spot. I might have to do that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I need to look into that then for sure.
Again, weird time zone things. I don't know what time 1:30 GMT is for me. I have no idea, so I'll have to figure that out. If anybody knows, you can throw it in the chat, I guess.
30 a.m. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad about it too. I know it's tough. Every time we have to get somebody on from, another country or something, I always need to try and cross-reference times and what works for other people and stuff. But
yeah, it's pretty confusing.
I get it.
But I think that's cool. I mean, we talked about this last week about how this may be starting to become a thing. And, one thing that I really don't like about, I loved going to PAX East. It was a blast. I absolutely loved it. The only thing I don't like about events like that are the crowds. I don't like dealing, which it wasn't as bad at PAX this year, probably because of all the Corona stuff going on, but
it's still busy.
But it was still packed. But I'm sure it was probably be more packed if it wasn't for that. But I don't love crowds. I've never been a big fan of huge crowds, lots of people. You're bumping into people nonstop. But
I get it.
So I think it would be cool to do some of this kind of stuff, and especially software side announcements, you know, that you're not trying to get people trying hardware and in your hardware and stuff. I think that makes even more sense. So, and I mean, this has even been affecting like, I read an article about like runway, what do they call those, fashion shows? Like there's been a bunch of fashion shows that are canceled and all this kind of stuff. I mean, this would work pretty good for that kind of stuff too, I feel like. I mean, if VR was mass adoption enough, you know, why wouldn't you be able to do a fashion show in VR? You know, you could have a runway, you could see, you know, whatever clothes and accessories they're trying to show off. Makes perfect sense to me.
I've wanted to buy a stereoscopic VR camera, 360. There's just not the quality out there yet that I want.
Yeah.
But when that comes, man, I mean, there are some out there, but
sure.
you know, they're all 10 grand minimum.
Kaze is on it with the times though. He said 1:30 a.m. GST equals 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Epic win. That's perfect for me because that doesn't interfere with work or anything else. So I'm
That's true. Very cool.
Yeah, that works. See how that works. Get some more info on it. But yeah, that is pretty cool.
Oh, Skiva said he likes my shirt. Do you like that? My Dreamcast shirt, man? Oh, I'm awesome. Such a sucker for Dreamcast. I really am.
Sweet. Me and you used to play Dreamcast.
Oh, it was the best, man. Because for me, it was my first online gaming experience. So it like set the pace for the rest of my, you know, gaming life.
Yeah.
Just really.
You said that was your first gaming experience?
Online.
Oh, online. Okay. I missed that. I was like, what? Like that can't be right.
Heck yeah. I got the module that went on the back of the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
It was a 56K modem, man. It was like the fastest thing. I think it was 56. Yeah, it wasn't 120.
That was probably, I don't know. You were talking about the VR camera, the 360 VR camera. I wanted to mention real quick, because we talked about it on our last show. We planned on getting some 180 VR footage from PAX. We recorded some, and unfortunately, something's going on with my camera. Well, I thought we did. I thought we had some. There's nothing on the memory card.
Said it was good.
I don't know. I haven't used it in a little while, but whenever I was recording, and I realized it later, once I realized the footage wasn't there, is, you know, I wouldn't even pay attention. I turned the camera on, and you hit the button on the side and it makes a beep noise and it just records. So, you know, we were doing a bunch of other stuff. I was just setting it up, pushing that button. I heard a beep. I went on about my business doing other stuff. And what I realized was happening is there's some kind of error. So when I hit the record button, it like beeps 3 times and an orange light flashes. And I have no idea. I cannot get it to record. I've tried different memory cards.
Oh, you did try that? We talked about that.
Yeah, I swapped out memory cards. I even did it there at the hotel room when I was trying to figure it out. But I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to have to contact them and try to figure it out because I was super bummed. I really wanted to get 180 footage from there. And I knew some people in chat were excited about it too. They were saying, you know, can't wait to watch some 180 footage from PAX. So unfortunately, some bad news in that area. Hopefully I can get that fixed though, and it'll be next time we go somewhere cool, I can take it along. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I was pretty disappointed, but
it happens.
It does. Electronics can be a pain.
We had other important stuff to shoot while we were there, so
yeah. But it still would have been cool. Still would have been cool to have people to be able to step into the PAX environment, I think. But
Yep.
Yeah. So
all right. So let's see. Ooh, do you have that footage for the 3D Rudder?
Yes, I do. You want to go to the movie theater, or you want to put it in here?
Sure. Go to the movie theater. Make it a little bigger for everybody.
We haven't been over here in a little while.
Right? I get my popcorn out here. No, kidding.
Yeah. So this is the 3D Rudder Pro Wireless that they're talking about, which it says it's the Pro Wireless. I'm guessing that's just maybe a power wire or something that's actually connected to it. I'm not sure. But I've seen the 3D Rudder's been around for a little while, and it's intriguing, but I never really thought it was something I really needed until I was watching this video, which actually makes perfect sense because they're using it with the Oculus Quest and they're using it with a hand tracking demo. So in this scenario, it really does make sense because you don't have controllers. So how are you supposed to move, you know, around any kind of environment with no controllers? What are you supposed to do? You know, unless you have just a big enough play space that you can physically walk, there's really no way to locomote around anywhere. Yeah.
Right.
So this
really
actually
benefits them.
Yeah. So this actually allows you to move around in a space without controllers, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, it just works by tilting your feet forward, back, side to side, and you can move all around.
Which after using it, it'd probably become pretty natural, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think you would get used to it just like anything else.
Well, I mean, think about those, like a hoverboard. You know how they work. You just lean forward and then you go that direction. It would kind of be the same principle. So you would probably get used to it after using it for a while.
Yeah, so this says the 3D Rudder Pro Wireless is an enterprise-focused version of the product, which has users resting their feet on sort of a balance board, then tipping it in any direction to move around in VR. So the thing that worries me is an enterprise-focused version. So
maybe just the wireless, the Pro Wireless one is probably.
But I mean, if you're using it with the Quest, I mean, you would kind of you wouldn't want to have to tether it to the Quest or anything. You would want it to be wireless. But yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's just working off of Bluetooth, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
which
says
actually I need to
there's
get back in there and check some of that new
yeah.
Bluetooth stuff that they with the audio and stuff.
Yeah, so it says
Or
there's
try
no
some.
word yet on a consumer-focused version of this device when it
Jeez.
might ship or anything,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I mean, that's kind of cool for the hand
It is
tracking
cool.
stuff, and I've tried some of the hand tracking stuff, and it's pretty cool. But
Well,
all of that stuff was just stationary.
right.
You're just have something in front of you that you're doing with your hands. You don't actually move around. So
It just seems for really smooth motion, which I think is really cool. It's not
yeah.
like pushing a joystick and it's like real fast and makes somebody sick. You can just ease into it real slow.
Yeah. So
It's
Fluke
cool.
Rogi said the PSVR without parole guys weren't fans of the PSVR system. I think he's talking about the 3D rudder for the PSVR.
Right.
I haven't tried this. I don't think either one of us have ever tried this, but and like I said, it wasn't anything that really, I was super intrigued about until I saw it with the hand tracking stuff. And then it made a little bit more sense to me.
Right.
Why.
The only thing I don't know is how do you rotate?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
That,
there's a way,
that's
because I mean, I think the side to side moves you side to side, but I don't know if there's a way to like, somehow turn. Maybe if you like turn your feet would be kind of cool. I don't know if that's a feature, but if you could, and that would kind of rotate your body like a smooth locomotion or a snap turn or something, maybe they could.
maybe.
And I don't know if it works that way, but that could probably
But
be
he
something
is like
they
side
could focus.
scrolling, so I would think the side to side would be your side to side and front to back. But then,
Yeah.
if he's seated, how do you rotate?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It
I'd
is
love to try something like this, but
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, but
yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
mean, there's not a lot of games that I can think of. Did you just think of one?
no, but I thought
Oh,
about that thing we got to try at PAX. That was a peripheral
oh,
that was super cool. The pen.
oh yeah.
Oh,
We got a
so
video on that coming too. We haven't got that out yet, but
that was a weird experience
it
to
was pretty
try.
crazy. I'll give you a little sneak preview, but it was it was using like echo, like sonar basically to track a peripheral, and it was pretty cool. And it kind of really blew my mind once I didn't understand exactly how it worked until I tried it. It was pretty cool.
I caught on real quick. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like,
well, I kept thinking I was supposed to touch
yeah.
it to the table or like to,
Right.
and I was like, what?
Right.
And then once I realized, I was like, oh, okay, so that was pretty cool. But
I know.
Anakaze said you can steer it like a wheel. I think that's like what I was kind of thinking was kind of turn it. And
Maybe then.
yeah,
that could be.
I guess he's kind of turning his feet a little bit. I don't know. I've never used
Must
one,
be,
but
yeah.
it is kind of cool.
Yeah,
But
still cool. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, you never know what catches on. I mean, it won't really catch on for gaming.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of thing you can do for hand tracking. I don't know what kind of games, like what I was going to say is I don't know I can't think of a lot of games where, you're going to need hand tracking and locomotion. I mean, my thought was like a boxing game almost or a fighting game where you wouldn't have to have controllers once hand tracking was to that level. I know it's not there yet, but then again, you have to be seated. You know what I mean? To use this device, you would have to be sitting, which I don't want to play like a fighting game, where I'm swinging and punching, having to sit necessarily. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I do see him rotating too.
Yeah,
I do see that now. Yep.
But that's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
Kind of interesting stuff.
Hey, Cest. Glad you're here. From Luxembourg? Is that correct?
Nice.
Luxembourg?
Luxembourg?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is that Germany? Is that Germany?
I think
I'm
so.
not mistaken. I think so.
So I guess we could go ahead. We don't have a lot on this, but I feel like in this category, every little bit of information people are pretty hungry for. This is about Population 1. So I know people go pretty crazy over Population 1. It's one of my most anticipated games. I'm really excited for it.
I agree.
They gave us a little bit of sneak preview of something, and it's not much, so don't expect much here, but this is what you get. Some new character skins. Got some new character skins.
Right.
Kind of cool to at least see something. I mean, they've been pretty quiet for a while, and people have wondered, like, what's going on with them? Like, is the game still coming? I can assure you they have been hard at work nonstop. They've never given up on the game. They've never stopped working on it. They've continued to improve it. And they've talked about doing play testing again here real soon.
Yeah, it's coming. It is coming.
Real soon. So I don't think I think in one of our previous videos we had the link. If you go back to the Population 1 video we did last, I think there is a link where you can sign up to be in the beta. I don't know how many more people they're taking. I don't know anything about that, but I would say if you're interested in checking this game out, I would go ahead and sign up because there's a chance that you could get in. No guarantees, but it's worth a shot. Doesn't hurt to just sign up.
This is going to be a top tier game. This will be up there.
I think so. I think this is going to be, and I mean, I know some people aren't into this kind of game, but man, I don't know. Like Battle Royale games, I'm not a I've never been a huge fan of in flat gaming. I played a little bit of
I
stuff.
like them.
Yeah, but in VR, I love them, especially in co-op. You know
Cool.
what I mean? We've talked about that, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. So this is just a little sneak peek, and they said that there is play testing coming real soon. So
Man, and they have some pretty good sized matches and stuff, even early. They had a lot of people.
yeah.
That was like, red versus blue and lots of people. It was really cool.
So they did a little Q&A thing, and they said, what are you guys doing over there? Is this game still happening? And they said, yes, we are making awesome progress. Seriously, every day Population 1 gets better and better. The reason we've been so quiet lately is because we've been so crazy busy, heads down, making the best VR Battle Royale possible. So, yeah. Man, I can't wait. I'm ready to get back into some playtests for real. But pretty cool. Nothing crazy, no breaking anything. It's not about to release tomorrow. I think it's still coming this year. I couldn't tell you when. I know their plans were for earlier this year. We're getting closer to summertime, so my guess would be end of summer, end of year game at this point, I think. So, because if they're starting up play testing again, I know they want to test Quest versus PC. I mean, it's going to be cross-play.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. I know.
So I know that's what they're going to want to be testing is, Quest versus PC stuff. So
sure.
Pretty cool.
So good, though.
Pretty cool.
So good.
Yeah.
The hype is definitely real for that.
Also, a little update. We've talked about Zero Caliber multiple times. We've been waiting for the PvP stuff. That's what we've been waiting so much for. We've played Zero Caliber a little bit. We haven't been into it in a long time, but we know they've been working on PvP. They did do an update. They said, we've been successfully testing the PvP game mode on dedicated servers. There is still a lot of work ahead, but it is shaping up nicely. Currently, we're planning to add 4 game modes. Here's a quick breakdown of each mode. They're going to have Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and Capture the Area. So that's pretty cool. The other one that they talked about, and I don't really know exactly quite understand this, but it's a unique game mode mixing classic MOBA and FPS elements. There will be an ongoing combat between NPCs on 2 lanes. Additionally, each team will have turrets on their respective lanes. The goal is to destroy the enemy's team's generator. After eliminating their turrets, battles will last 8 minutes. If neither generator is destroyed, the team with the turret advantage, most turrets eliminated wins. So kind of a little
I'm assuming
different.
the people online players aren't fighting each other. They're both fighting NPCs, would be my guess. I guess that's how I take it.
Or
and
they're
then whoever
still fighting each other, but they have NPCs as well?
No, I don't think they're fighting each other at all from how I take it, because it says on 2 lanes. So, what's the game where you were trying to get to the end, you could see the other person?
Oh, yeah, a sprint vector, stuff like that. There was...
yeah, not sprint vector. I forget. But beside the point, I think...
I know what you're talking about. Space Ops, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I think so.
Sort of like that. That's how I take it when I read this, that you're trying to both get farther.
Okay, so you're in, I guess so. You're in 2 lanes beside each
Right.
other. So you're facing each other, but you're not fighting each other. You're facing each other to get the generator
most
out,
NPCs down.
and the most turrets down or whatever. And then
that's how I take it, which is kind of cool.
Kind of different.
I wish, they list the team deathmatch stuff. I wish they had 2v2. I love the strategy of 2v2, and there's not a lot of games that use that, you know?
Well, that's, I think, why I like the Battle Royale games like Standout and stuff, because it's not 2v2, but it's a team. You can go as co-op, you can go squad, and it's 2 people versus everybody else. So that's, I love that teamwork, because it's hard to jump into a game unless you have a group of friends that are used to playing together and can actually really use that, cooperative gameplay. When you get a random person playing with you, they usually are just running around or, doing their own thing. So I like that co-op of 2 people that just can really work good together. That's what I like. So I think that's pretty cool. But
so Alex VR was saying that that's how MOBAs work. You can jump across lanes to attack each other. So I guess you must maybe be able to attack each other as well. So it's kind of cool.
I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to play. I mean, I can't wait for the PvP to come out. The game itself is really good. So
it is. Oh, I love putting people in the gun room down there.
Yeah, the gun room
people that
is awesome.
haven't tried first time, they don't, I don't want to throw them into a shooter, but I'm like, okay, here, look around, grab attachments, you go over to the shooting range, and they're just like blown away visually and how it works. So yeah,
it is a really
super
cool
good
game. Looks really good. I mean, this is one of the first games to kind of have some more added collisions, I feel like, kind of like how Boneworks does, where you can rest your gun on stuff. Probably not the first one, but one of the first games like this, I feel like.
I remember the first time we played it,
have it, and
we were actually like, didn't know if we liked it. the collisions, because your gun would hit something and get caught.
I still have a love-hate relationship for it, even with Boneworks. I like having all that stuff there, but sometimes it annoys the crap out of me when I get stuck on things. My physical body isn't stuck, but my rendered object is stuck on something, and I'm like, where's my hand? Where's my, you know what I mean? So there's still some disconnect there. I think there's still some tweaking that could really make that a little bit better, but.
Yeah, I know.
But there's the gun range. Yeah, it's fantastic. The attachments and stuff's really cool.
So
really
good.
Cool game.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so that is coming hopefully here pretty soon. I think we will see the PvP. I'm thinking probably by, late summer or something. I don't know. It's just a guess. I know they've been working on it for a while, so that's what I'm hoping for. That's my hope.
Hopefully sooner than later. I know. I'd love to play.
Yeah, for real. So, what else we got on the docket?
The mental health, the one we put in the title too.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play this up here. So if you aren't aware, if you're not in the States, last week, and this video is actually from a previous one, but I think it was last week or the week before in Tennessee, there was a pretty big tornado that went through.
Yes.
And I mean, unfortunately, a lot of lives lost. I think they're still missing people. Really devastating tornado that went through in the middle of the night, as far as I understand it. And there is this company, I believe the company name is called Trihelium, and they are actually doing some mental health stuff with VR, which is actually trying to get people, that are suffering with great loss and everything else, to just kind of give them some relief in life and just put them in some tranquil environments, to kind of take their mind off of things and just kind of transform them to somewhere else. But
which is done by the Red Cross.
Yeah, it's in a collaboration with the Red Cross, I think. Yeah.
Yep. It's really cool though. Yeah, I mean, if anything, just to take their mind off it even for a little bit and have a good experience.
Yeah.
After a bad experience like that. Though it can never make it go away, but at least it takes their mind off of it.
I mean, when you go through something super traumatic like that, it's hard to ever escape it for a long time. Like you're constantly focusing on it. So VR is very good at, taking you out of the real world and putting you somewhere else, at least for a little while, so I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So it says clearly VR is not a replacement for psychiatric medications or professional counseling, but some applications can provide a drugless option for the self-management of stress. So, I mean, this is pretty awesome. So
I agree.
In Nashville, we unexpectedly got the chance to better understand and observe how VR works as mental health armor. We also got the chance to build relationships with other companies, creating important solutions for areas of situational stress. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. That's really cool. No, I mean, it's anything like that. I mean, I would totally agree. I mean, if I have a hard day or something and I'm even just spent and want to veg out, I don't go sit and watch TV or anything. I'm like, I just want to go in VR. Like, I just want to go somewhere else and do something and take my mind off it, experience something new. Every single time it works, too. It really does.
Yep. So
Rizzo Rock said, did you have any cannolis at PAX? I don't think we hardly ate, man.
Yeah, we were grabbing food when we could, and it was just so busy. It was crazy.
I know. Your wife was on me for
she was actually running and getting us food and coffee and all kinds of stuff. So it was actually really awesome to have her there to help us out. So she was like, "You guys need to eat," and we're like, "Oh, we're busy." Like, no, you guys need to eat. You guys are like gonna get sick. So but. That's pretty crazy. But this is pretty cool. I mean, I don't even know how many times we've mentioned on the show about the power of VR, just not for gaming. I mean, mainly our use, is for gaming and stuff like that. But there's so many different applications. I mean, we've seen it with the military, mental health. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I also saw an article about, some things about when rendering of people and stuff is going to get so crazy in VR. Like there needs to be some kind of rules around how some of that works, with, I mean, people that are deceased and, like famous people, well, I mean, even how do you use that kind of thing? Like, can anybody just recreate somebody? Like, can anybody recreate Michael Jackson in VR? Like, how does that work? Like, what are the rights around that and everything else? It's kind of crazy.
They're doing it in holograms and stuff.
Yeah,
for
there was one of like Tupac, I think. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but.
Yep.
But yeah, but I thought that was a cool story. I'm glad to see that, VR can be used to help people out in tough situations, at least take their mind off some things that are going on for a little while. I think that was pretty cool.
I agree. But Anakaze said, anything more to add about the 2MD football upgrade that you didn't cover in the video?
So, I mean, what else do you want to know? I mean, So the 2MD, if you're not
Like the
aware, the
robots and
2MD,
stuff?
yeah, the 2MD football is they're basically have a new game kind of coming out on Steam, and it's going to be free for people that already have 2MD football, and they're calling it
Right.
2MD Football Evolution. And basically, they've upgraded the environments. They have leather now. They have robots instead of the tackle dummies, so they actually have legs now. Looks really cool. It makes a little bit more sense visually, you know, instead of seeing the tackle dummies run around. It just looks better. They have explosions that happen, you know, when different things happen. A lot of different, you know, particle effects and all that kind of stuff. Really cool. And like I said, it's going to be free. So if you've already had the game on Steam, and right now it's only launching on Steam, I believe in April, if I have that correct. I think around April 1st. Hopefully it's not an April Fool's joke, but
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. But
I do love the look of it though,
Yeah.
of this upgraded one, because it looks way more crispy to me.
yeah.
There's just more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just way more. I think he even talked about, I don't know if it was then or to us, but optimizing and stuff. And they really optimized it to been able to put more stuff in there.
Well, and they said
awesome.
that the version is actually optimized for Quest as well. It's not on Quest right now, and I don't know when it's coming to Quest. I do need to find out more about the roadmap, because right now it's only coming to Steam. And from what it sounds like, from what he said, is that they're kind of gauging interest and how well it does. And if it does good, then they're going to bring it to other platforms, you know, PSVR, Quest, the Oculus Store, and all of that. I think really it's just kind of a test to see, because they said, you know, it's not really enough to make it a whole new game. It's really, you know, about
a better version.
Yeah, like an updated version. So that's why they're, you know, giving it to you free if you already have 2MD football and stuff. And here's the trailer that kind of shows some of it. But the game is fantastic. Even the regular game, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it really is. There's a global leaderboard, you know, that you can try to get to the top of the leaderboard, which is difficult because people are really good. But yeah, so Anakaze said, they didn't mention Oculus Quest stores or when if it would come to that. And I think that's basically where they're at right now. I think that, you know,
they do want it to, yes.
Yeah, I think it will. I think that it is going, because I think it's going to do good, because we don't have a lot of sports games like this. And for the most part, everybody seems to really enjoy this game, especially, you know, people love it on the Quest, the PSVR people. I think it came out first on PSVR, if I remember right. I know it came out on PSVR before Quest, but I think it will. I think we're going to see it. I just don't know when. And I don't know how long after the Steam release it's going to take, but hopefully not long, because, I mean, to me, this game, I love it on the Quest. I mean, it's just such a perfect Quest game. You know, you throw it on, you throw your Quest on, and you just play, you know, and it's something that you can just, you know, play for a little while. You can play for a long time. I mean, in a sense, it's kind of a workout game. You might only be getting one arm workout, but your arm, like, I know the first time I played this for a long time, my arm was a little bit sore the next day. Just because you're constantly throwing that ball. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
The play lines and stuff and the playbook stuff like that's awesome. I love like that right there. That's so cool. Yeah,
and I do need to. JJ asked, and he talks about multiplayer or two-player options. That is something I should have asked, and I can ask him about that. I'll find out, and I can maybe put it in the comments down here or something like that. But that is one thing that I would like. I mean, we talk about multiplayer co-op stuff all the time.
We've said that before, even with it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly how that would work. I mean, if you did like a two-player co-op, I mean, I guess you could face each other. You know, you could go back and forth where you're the quarterback, you know, both ways. Or, you know, if there's a way to play co-op where you play together, where you have one person trying to run the ball or catch the ball and the other person throwing it.
True.
I'm sure it's doable. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't ask if they have plans for that. I'm sure that they probably look into all the options, and I know they're open to, you know, ideas. So, you know, hit them up on Twitter or whatever, but I'll definitely find out. I will ask about that and let you guys know. I'll put it in the comments or something down below or on our Discord as well. So, but yeah, the game's pretty cool. I'm excited for it to come out. I love it. I think it's really neat. But
so I was just looking. Oh yeah, we had noted about SideQuest. Oh yeah, about how Oculus is maybe trying to pull some of that weight. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with that exactly. They made a tweet, Oculus did, and they were talking about a way to get, you know, some of that content that isn't making it to the Quest Store, isn't being accepted to the Quest Store.
Early access-ish or whatever, development, indie, whatever you call it.
Yeah, so basically this came out on Twitter. So Chris Pruitt, he is head of, I think, Oculus content curation. He said, "We understand that many devs and enthusiasts are looking for easier ways to access and distribute applications outside of the Oculus Store. This is an area we're actively thinking about, more to share soon." So more to share soon makes me think that they have something that's going to come out in the way of, I don't know. It's hard to say. Honestly, I mean, I feel like they should just maybe team up with SideQuest. You know what I mean? Just
I agree.
make it
Yep.
easier to get SideQuest on the store. You know, make it so
Yep.
maybe it's just an additional thing that you have to put on there so that somebody that buys a Quest that's looking for Quest, you know, the best of the best, as they say it, that they can just throw their Quest on and they go to the store. Or,
Right.
you know, people that are wanting this other stuff, you know, that they can go to the store and download another storefront from there that's going to be stuff that's not Oculus approved or something like that. I mean, they need to do something, but at the same time, I don't want them to force SideQuest out either. You know, I think what SideQuest is doing is pretty awesome, and I don't want them to push them out either. I don't know what's going to happen.
It'd almost be nice if they had, you know, a game app, whatever you want to call it, on the Oculus Quest that was just SideQuest, and then inside of there was a library of games, and then once they leave that, and then once they leave that, they go onto the Quest store officially, almost just like early access on Steam or anything else. And kind of as we, you know, have come to know it, early access isn't really early access. It's more like, I don't know, like we're still working on the game. You know what I mean? Like it's still being worked on heavily.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not early access isn't what it used to be.
What I think they need to do is I think there needs to be a section on the store that you go to, you download separately, like I said, or whatever, and they just need to give you a warning system that says, you know, these games are not approved by Oculus. These games could induce motion sickness. These games could have, you know, very high violence levels or stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're basically signing off saying that, you know, and have a warning, you must be 18 years or older, or have a parent sign off or something, you know what I mean? Something of that sense. I think that there's so much good content out there that doesn't get to the Quest store. That is unfortunate because there's a lot of people that want to play it, you know, and luckily we have SideQuest, and, you know, tons and tons of people have downloaded off SideQuest, but there's still a lot of people that don't want to use SideQuest. They don't want that extra, you know, the Quest is like a game console. They don't want to have to plug it into a PC and download other stuff. And I understand that. I don't always want to either. I mean, I just want to jump on. If there's a game I want to play, I want to hit download and I want to play it. But I do think that it's a conversation that I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm really curious to see what people think in chat. I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks that way? Or
people in chat are saying like either have like a toggle or have, you know, an experimental section or something, you know, just like Steam VR, you know, has a beta. Like you just hit a button, sign up for beta, and then you're on either a different software or a different access or developer mode or whatever you want to call it.
I said it said like an experimental section. I think somebody had like a set of toggle. I
think that's great. You know, if you want to be a part of that stuff and you know you want those games, then do that. You know, but other than that, they're not visible. I think that would be awesome. I really do.
And Siest Moy, I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm butchering it. He said, or they said, wishful thinking. Apple have defined the model via the success of the App Store, which is kind of what the Quest kind of does. Is similar to what everything has to be approved. I mean, you have to sign up.
Process,
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there's a lot of steps you have to go through before you can get a game on Quest. You know, it's not as easy as throwing it on Steam or something like that. But so I don't know.
And I know they do want everything paid and, you know, money. I mean, that's where they're making the bulk of their money is software sales.
Right.
So they do want that. But, you know, if stuff's that early and not, you know, you don't want it on your store, what are you going to do? You know, you're either going to let SideQuest keep doing their thing, or you're going to do what SideQuest is doing and do it better. So
yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, I don't want them to run SideQuest out of business. You know, I think that would stink. But I am really curious to see what their plan is and what they come up with.
I know.
Because I think there needs to, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but.
Yep. It is me in French. That's what it is.
Oh, nice. I don't know French, so sorry about that.
I don't either.
But yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know it's hard, but there's always going to be workarounds. If it's not SideQuest, there's always going to be something else, you know, until it gets too big that they try and shut it down. And it happens every time on every platform.
Yeah.
I mean, you can jailbreak iPhones. You know what I mean? And iPhones are the, you know, most secure thing out there. You can
there's always going to be a
iPhone
workaround
from an Android phone now.
Yeah, so, there's always going to be some kind of workaround to get around it, but
I know.
We'll see.
There will be. How'd PD put a like button down there? That's amazing. No.
I don't see it.
Kidding.
That's awesome. But yeah, so I think the only other thing we had was just if you want to talk about some of the stuff we used at PAX, some of the hardware stuff.
I wish I had actually some of it here. I do have it over here. But man, yeah, the gear from PAX and stuff worked so good. We were so nervous about it because we actually had all of our stuff and we didn't get to test everything. We did a show together maybe a month and a half ago, and we had some of what we were going to use, and we tried to test it, but it was too hard. So
it was difficult.
We bought new microphone systems and stuff, which did work very well. We found some issues with them with like reverberation from our Adams
depending
Oculus,
on where you placed them, but it was quick and easy to clip it on. People, worked really good. The sound quality sounded good. The only issue, they do work off of Wi-Fi, and there was some Wi-Fi, there was so much crazy Wi-Fi stuff going on there. Yeah, so we found that sometimes it was better to shut them off and turn them back on when we moved locations. And in the beginning, we weren't doing that, so there were some parts that they cut out and made some weird noise. But overall, we were pretty happy with it. And the gimbal, you use talk about that gimbal a little bit, because I got to order one of those.
I wish I had. It's over there in the bag still from the trip. But yeah, I have another gimbal. I have a nice one that I've had for years now. It's the Zhiyun MG-V2, and that was the other one I was using, which has the wide handhelds and stuff. Really nice. But if we're going to PAX and traveling on a plane and stuff, it broke down, but it was still pretty big. So I actually got the DJI Ronin SC, which is their smallest handheld gimbal for a DSLR. And oh man, it's so good. It works so nice. To the point where I think now you want one, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one in my cart on Amazon. I just haven't hit the buy now button yet. But yeah, the thing is awesome. So it worked out great. The thing was really cool. So I actually don't have any gimbals or anything like that. So I really want one. And man, that was just.
I told you I'll just send you my other one, but you're like, no, now I want that one. So
well, I really want to do. I've talked about it a little bit. I think on our after show we did it one time, but I really want to do a VR room tour once I get the VR room to close to. I mean, it's constantly changing. I'm constantly adding things and stuff, but once I get this close to where I like it, I want to do a VR room tour, like a video. And that new gimbal has a follow me mode where you can put your camera on it, and I can set it in the corner, and I can move all around the room to show things off. I wouldn't need a camera person or anything like that. I wouldn't have to keep moving the tripod all over the place. So I want it for stuff like that. I think it would be really cool. So
which is awesome to be able to do that with a DSLR too. You can do it with the phone ones and stuff, but it's not the same quality.
Yeah.
So it's where you mount your camera, and then you mount your phone on the hot shoe on the top.
Yeah.
And then the phone, you face yourself or away, put it on you, track yourself, and then that relays it wirelessly to the gimbal.
I mean, it moves anywhere you go. It'll track you all over the place. It's really, really cool. So, but yeah, we just want to touch on that a little bit, just because we thought it was pretty fun stuff,
and that's why I do a lot of other videography stuff, and that's kind of why we got to PAX, and I ended up running the camera probably most of the time, which I made Sean try it a couple times.
I did. We'll have a video coming out where we talked to some college students and stuff that made a game for. It was a game they made in VR for a class project. I think.
Cool.
It's really cool. And I was actually running the camera on that one, so keep an eye out for that. My camera work it was the first time I ever really used a gimbal, to be honest. So I was kind of like, I don't know, I'm gonna move around a little bit. I'm gonna try and keep you in the center. I didn't know, but it was cool. But I definitely want one that was fun to play with.
So I didn't want any of those. I could have just taken a tripod, which we did, and we used. Like when we were both playing and stuff like that, but I didn't want those stagnant shots. I don't like stagnant shots. I like movement in my videography and stuff. So I kind of put that in the video. So I'd really like to know what people thought. I haven't heard anything about that yet. Because we really haven't done any, true videos.
This is kind of the first time we went out and did interviews and stuff like that. So, I mean, we've had people on the show before, but we've never. It's our first time really, doing that kind of thing. So it was a learning process for us too. So I mean, even from watching the videos back, I've learned some things from it and stuff. So I think we look forward to being able to do it again, hopefully at some point. So.
Yeah, so cool. I love using it though. It's just so nice. I really.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a really good time, but make sure you sign up for the Gleam giveaway. Make sure you sign up for that. 2 days left. I think that is for a $20 Steam card if you missed the beginning of the show. So the link should be in the description for that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
PD said he just uses mobile phone, and there's a lot of really good ways to use mobile phone. I actually have one of the Osmo mobiles and stuff, and that even with the phone, you can do tracking and you can run it live. I think you can only do it on the 1 and 2, not the mobile 3. I'm gonna get technical here, but you can actually even live stream using that with your phone
Yeah.
and the motion track, which is really cool.
That's all I ever used for a while was my phone or just a regular webcam, because
phones are great.
until I got the nice Sony camera for Christmas that my wife got me, that's all I've ever done. But real quick, a couple shows ago, if you remember, we were late starting because my webcam messed up and it would not focus.
Oh, yeah.
So for the show, it would not focus at all. I had to bust out an old one last minute to try to get it to work. So right before the show, I was like, I'm going to try the webcam again. Hopefully it was just a glitch. Still wouldn't focus. So I found a thing online where it's the Logitech C920, I think. And you can take it apart and you actually turn the lens like a half turn or a quarter turn or clockwise. And that makes it so it'll allow for further focus and it'll focus better. So right before the show, I tore it apart and did that, and it's good. It focuses now. I can manually focus it. Like before, I couldn't get it to autofocus. I couldn't manual focus. It just would not focus. So I did that right before the show, so I could use the other webcam. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's not even all the way back together. It's still sitting there with like all the covers and everything off of it. So I wanted to test it, but I thought that was funny. So
yeah, that's awesome. The Fluke Rogi said the PAX videos are really good quality. Thank you. We really try, and it's just so hard with like the run and gun. Like when we're there, it's literally run and gun. Like that term for us there was legit.
And I mean, even when Tyler was recording a lot of stuff, you know, there's people bumping into him because there's so many people when you're trying to move around. It was absolutely nuts. But
because I had my backpack, which I have the PGY Tech One-Mo, which amazing backpack if you're into photography, and I had it on my back while I'm filming because I didn't want to sit my gear down because I can't even pay attention to what I'm doing. And people were like going past in the aisles, just slamming me. So the whole time I'm sitting there trying to record and be smooth, people were just clipping me and doing this, and you can't even tell in the video.
Yeah,
it's
really
so crazy.
Yeah. So we said, we have like I think 6 or 7 more videos to put out from PAX. So keep an eye out. But I appreciate everybody watching them. It was really a lot of fun for us, and really for me, one of the takeaways from PAX is that. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm having a serious conversation here.
Because of how many times I'm thinking of how many times you said like, yeah, thanks, or like.
Oh yeah, no, that was one of the things I learned about doing the interviews live, because I was like, man, I need to just not say things, because sometimes, you know, you're in a conversation and you want to, you know, you're engaged in the conversation. So like I would say yeah and stuff a lot, like as they were explaining things. But yeah, I learned a lot from watching those back, but they didn't turn out too bad. But yeah, but one of the things I was going to say that I love the most about it though is that when we went there. Just meeting the developers and how happy they were that somebody wanted to, you know, try to help put that out there about what their game was. And they wanted to take the time to listen to their plans about the game and what their game is and all that stuff. Like the developers there were so appreciative, and it was awesome. I thought that was so cool that, you know, they were just so happy that, you know, there was people there, you know, I mean, there was a ton of people there that were interested in trying VR for the first time, but, you know, people there that actually knew about VR and wanted to help spread the word for VR and just get it out there and talk about their game. They were really appreciative for that. And that was one of the coolest things to me, I thought.
They were all lined up though to play stuff. It was
there was tons of people. Yeah, there was tons of people that wanted to play.
My gosh,
so, I mean, VR had a huge presence at PAX this year, which we were worried about. It really did though. I mean, there was a ton of play sessions, a ton of, you know, lines to get in there to play all different kind of games. There was a lot of, you know, indie developers there and all kinds of. It was really cool. Really awesome.
It was awesome.
But,
yeah. The play sessions, I heard they weren't using too stout of PCs kind of in the play sessions.
Yeah, so somebody, I forget who it was, somebody made in a comment that said they tried the index there for the first time and that it was, I think it was on one of our videos.
Reddit. It was Reddit.
No, it was not one of the videos. It was on our PAX, one of the first videos we put out. He said he was there. He was at PAX. He tried the index. He wasn't blown away, but he said that he heard, you know, that the resolution was turned down and like everything was because I don't know what PCs they were using. I'm not sure what spec they were using, but so it's hard to say. But we didn't play any of the index stuff there. We didn't wait in line. I think
they were pretty low. I think they were like an i6700 or something. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. And it might be in the comment that he might have said. He might have asked. But But yeah, pretty awesome. So, and get to the Chappa VR is here. He said, dudes. So, that's awesome.
The Sony VR differentiator to kill Xbox. It may be.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the sales are going with PSVR and stuff right now, when they drop that next one.
Yeah. We were talking about that before the show, actually. I was asking Tyler if he was going to buy the next PlayStation, and he said probably, you know, if they do something really awesome with PSVR, you know, for sure, and depending on what Xbox does. So if Xbox continues to not do anything. I did read a little bit of an article about possibly some Windows mixed reality support again. I don't know.
I know.
I'm not sure exactly. I haven't kept up on that part of it, but I still think they're going to do something. They're going to have to. If they don't, I think Sony's going to kill them. I think they're going to kill them.
I agree too.
So I mean, Sony's already outperformed them. PlayStation 4 has already outperformed the Xbox. The latest Xbox One or whatever. And I think we're just going to continue to see that decline of Xbox as a gaming console. I really do. Unless they jump into VR. We've heard rumors a while back that we talked about that they were going to team up with Oculus again, like they did in the early days, and they were possibly going to be doing some an Oculus Rift XS compatibility with Xbox. And that was an early on rumor, and that was probably something that maybe Oculus and Microsoft had talked about. I don't know exactly, but it was a reputable source that we heard that from. So hopefully they still go that direction. I think that would be their best move. I really do.
I mean, probably the hardest thing for them to figure out is all the, not marketing, but the analytics of the sales. I mean, that's got to be tough. What games, and what headsets work with what, and it would be tough.
I don't know. I mean, as a company, you got to keep up with the trends. You got to keep up with what's coming, even though it's not huge yet. You got to keep up with what is coming.
I know. You do. I mean, what do you think? Why do you think Valve is releasing Half-Life only on VR? Because that's the future, and that's their progression as a company have always worked that way, and it's worked out very well for them to be on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
I just think it's a poor mistake. Microsoft is always half in. Yeah, I don't get it. The only good thing that we did read is the article. Microsoft has implemented some of the underlying code on their new core software, core OS stuff, that will have maybe support for WMR inside of it, and they're using that same OS on the new Xbox supposedly. So they're hoping that maybe it translates over. There's no affirmation on that, but
we'll have to see. I mean, I think they have to do something, or we could. I mean, this might be the last Xbox we ever see if they don't. And I don't know, because there's still plenty of flat gamers that are going to buy it and stuff. But I think if Sony. I mean, I don't know if you're in the market and you're even debating any kind of VR and you don't have a gaming PC and you're looking at picking up a new Xbox or a new PlayStation. I don't know. I mean, Xbox doesn't even really have that many exclusives anymore because they want everything to be able to be played on PC as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even understand. I mean, I can tell you right now, I won't buy a new Xbox. They're not going to do anything with VR. I have no reason to. There's absolutely no reason to.
I won't either. Nope. I will buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, I will too, because I mean, I didn't have a PS4. I had an Xbox One. So I never got on the PSVR bandwagon on that console. And I always still think about getting one used or whatever, picking one up to play the first PSVR.
Right.
But I'm going to wait at this point. I have too many other games that I can't keep up with playing anyway. So at this point, I'm going to wait and see what they do with what their PSVR 2 is going to be. And I can almost guarantee I'm going to be picking one up, because I mean, they're exclusives, the stuff they're going to be doing. Hopefully they kill it with, they see everything that everybody else has been doing in VR, how well, what does, what they like, what they don't like, the hand tracking stuff that Index does, all that kind of stuff. If they can pull off,
Move controllers are just
they will. No, they will.
Please,
there's no way.
Please,
there's no way.
Do it.
Yeah, there's no way. So I
will say that Sniper Elite looked awesome playing with the aim controller.
And the aim controller is one of the best things they did, I think. Yes, I think that was really cool. I think if Sony can pull off a wireless headset, that will be, that'll be a huge game changer. If they can pull out of the box, great controllers, great tracking, and a wireless
360
headset. Tracking. Yeah, well, obviously, they can't do anything other than that at this point in time. Yeah, but if they can pull that off, holy crap, that's going to be, that's going to put a big hurt on the PC VR market, because, if you can pick up a PlayStation 5 and a PSVR 2 that's wireless, great tracking, great controllers, holy crap, that's going to be awesome.
But I think the smart move for Xbox, though, is still let any headset plug in, obviously a WMR headset, but let any of those headsets work with it. Don't make it just one headset. Yeah. That market would blow up, because you could buy secondhand headsets.
It's basically just a computer anyways. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
But I think, in my opinion, I still think they should team up with Oculus, do the Rift S, because,
I do too.
Because Sony already has a huge jump software side. Xbox doesn't really have anything.
I know.
So if they can team up with Oculus, they can get Stormland on there. They can get Asgard's Wrath on there. They get Robo Recall on there right off the bat. You get all that stuff on
catalog.
Yeah, people that have never played those games. They've never had a PC VR headset. To me, that's the smart decision. I don't know.
It is. And let them curate it. Let them handle what games get approved and everything. It could just be, Oculus on Xbox or something,
MRTV said he doesn't have a PSVR, stone him.
Right? Exactly.
But I know. I know.
Honestly,
I'm gonna have
it's
PSVR
all about
2 for sure.
controllers. It's all about
Yeah.
controllers for me. That's
And
half
tracking.
of it for me is
And
controllers.
Tracking.
Tracking too. I get it. I get it.
So, but I mean, the PSVR 2 is great though. I mean, it is a fantastic. I mean, especially just the software that they have, the exclusives that they have. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and what they've done with what they had to work with was pretty good.
Right.
So,
I know. Yeah, I agree.
But I think PSVR 2 is gonna absolutely kill it. I don't even know how we got on this subject. This wasn't in our notes, but man, I'm excited.
Well, honestly, we did see a ton at PAX too. There was the lines for like Sniper Elite.
Sniper Elite, Paper Beast was there. What else was there?
Creed.
Creed wasn't PlayStation VR though.
No, it wasn't. That's right. I'm just trying to think of like what the mainstream stuff that had lines. But yeah, for PSVR, there was one more too.
Yeah, there was.
Paper Beast.
I said that. Yeah, Paper Beast, Sniper Elite. I can't remember what other PSVR stuff was there.
I think there was one more. No.
I think there was, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fantastic. PSVR 2 is going to kill it. I think if they play their cards right, and I really think they will, it's going to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's like more headsets than I think Oculus headsets even out there. So
yeah, I think they're still the leader at this point in time. But
right. So
but we don't know numbers either. We don't know numbers. So we don't know Oculus numbers. We don't know Quest numbers. And we don't know what Quest numbers would be if the availability was there too. If they never had this issue of selling out and not having availability, who knows what the numbers could be, honestly. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they could be crazy, but yeah, so I don't know. Like Jason said, excitement, it is all exciting. I think this year, as long as, and again, we got this dang coronavirus thing we have to keep bringing up. Is that going to affect PlayStation 5 launching this year? Is that going to affect Xbox launching this year?
Did you hear about that new game?
What game?
Where you have to scavenge and go places and find masks. It's called COVID-19.
Oh, jeez.
Kidding.
Oh, boy.
No, but honestly, I did hear that there was a peak in people acquiring the virus over in China. So they feel like maybe it's at that peak of it, so it can come back down now.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know. So. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yep.
But
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, Quest 2. Somebody mentioned Quest 2, which I think Quest 2 is going to be a serious competitor to all the spaces. I mean,
could you imagine though if they drop a Quest 2 that is compatible with the new Xbox? Like,
jeez,
what happens then?
Wirelessly compatible?
Like, oh my
wirelessly
God.
Streaming from the new Xbox?
What happens if that becomes a thing? I mean, what do you do? But see, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Because if you have a wireless Quest and you're buying stuff on the Oculus, why are you going to go?
I mean, unless you can you got a more powerful machine on the on an Xbox or a PS5 or a computer or whatever, it's going to be a lot more powerful.
And you could run those PC VR games on the Xbox. Well as the Quest can't run on the Quest. True.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see it. It could be some potential. Yeah, but CS Moy said F8. What did we miss? They always announce something. So F8 is actually they're not doing F8. I don't think this year. That one got canceled too, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's in May. I believe, in May. So hopefully they do something like Vive and they do something online that we can all attend and maybe a bunch of us can get in there together. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they'll still have announcements, and we're still expecting Facebook's Horizons anytime now. And I know a lot of emails have went out for the beta testers that are going to start getting into that. So that'll be interesting.
I'm hoping I didn't get mine in email because they sent it in regular mail.
A copy of Facebook Horizons.
Yeah,
you keep wishing.
I'm hoping
check your mailbox. You don't miss a day because that's a very good possibility.
So ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So MRTV said Quest 2 5G streaming content in 2022. I think.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, everything's going to have to eventually go wireless anyways. I mean, we're still waiting on an index wireless adapter. I mean, that's the one thing that Cosmos has going for it right now is wireless capabilities. So. Not the only thing, but.
Erica says COVID-19 VR by HTC releasing fourth quarter of 2020.
Look what you started. Look what you started.
Could be a great game, I'm telling you.
Man.
It looks like a zombie game when you go in there, and people are just roaming around coughing and stuff.
Yeah. So Mark P. Mepper said, when did Horizon's beta emails go out? That was last week, I believe. Yeah, last week sometime. People, I haven't seen mine yet. And even if I did, I probably couldn't tell you because I'm under NDA. But no, I really haven't. I wish I could tell you that I did. But I had my wife sign up for it too because she has a Quest. So I had her sign. I told her to keep watching her emails too. So hopefully, maybe if maybe somebody that did get the email, they can just privately let us watch them play, and we won't tell anybody who you are or anything. So we,
Right.
purely confidential.
Yeah.
So gaming science teacher said she signed up for the beta too and haven't heard anything.
I know.
So I don't know how many people they're getting. I don't know if this is the first round of beta testing they've done. I don't know if this is multiple rounds now. I'm not sure, but
when this drops, come find us, because we will be on hosting something in there, because I can't wait to see this in there.
Well, I think like Alex VR said, I think Horizons is going to be big, and I think so too. I think even in Horizons, what we're talking about, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if F8 ends, if Horizons is out by the time F8 happens, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens inside Facebook Horizons.
It should.
I think it would be fantastic. I would love that. I think that would be great. So that I think if they can get Horizons out before F8, I think that's what's going to happen, especially if there's, I mean, obviously by May, they're probably still going to be dealing with all this stuff. I'm pretty sure F8's canceled now anyways, but
yeah, F8 needs to go VR and virtual 100%.
Yeah,
yep,
so
I agree. It'd be a huge PR. So, I mean,
I think Facebook Horizon. I mean, it's Facebook F8. That's what it is. It's not Oculus Connect. It's Facebook F8. So this is Facebook Horizons. Let's get it in. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Let's get it in there.
Does.
Let's make it happen.
I agree.
So if anybody from Oculus Facebook is watching, make it happen.
Yep.
For sure.
We'll host it. We'll be announcers. I don't care. Anything to make it happen, man, because it really, I mean, it's just proof of the pudding. You know what I mean? Of what they are pushing and stuff. I mean,
and I mean, even if they want to, sneak peek of some new hardware, they want to talk about new software, you can do all that in there. I mean, you're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be putting, even if F8 was happening, they're not going to be putting people in any Oculus AR headsets or anything like that. Maybe showing some off. I wouldn't be surprised if they show off some AR stuff, but they can still show that to us. They can still show video and whatever of what it's capable of. They can show us the product. They can, you can hold the product. Like you said, you can look at it, so. Could
you imagine? Yeah, just to be able to physically look at it. I mean, that's what we know is so great about VR, even like with enterprise and stuff, designing a product, somebody 1,000 miles away, picking up, looking at it and saying, hey, I don't like this, or this works.
Yeah, architecture, stepping into buildings that you're planning on building before they're ever built. I mean, So
it is a no-brainer.
That's going to happen. We will see all of you at F8 inside Facebook Horizons.
It should.
Later.
It'd be an awesome drop for them. Or what if they said, at the beginning of it, like, join us tomorrow for, all our press releases. We're going to be in there in Facebook Horizon, go download it and get in, they drop it or something. That'd be awesome.
Fantastic.
Be great.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's what they're doing all this testing for right now. That's why the emails went out. They're trying to make sure it's perfected by F8.
Yeah. Right. It's
that
coming,
would be
though.
nice.
You
That
know
would be
it's coming.
nice.
I mean, Facebook Horizon's supposed to be out early this year. Wasn't it supposed to be first quarter beta?
I can't remember.
Allegedly. That was before Christmas even, but I think we're
from last Oculus Connect. I think we first learned about Facebook.
We're still in first quarter. So I guess it's still coming. Hopefully this month.
Yeah. So we'll find out. But
drop it on March 23rd.
Yeah. I was like, okay, but I am curious. Let us know in the comments or in the chat if you're taking off March 23rd. I feel like there is going to be a lot of people taking that day off. You're actually just getting back from vacation. You won't be able to take that day off.
Right.
I don't know if I'll be able to yet either, but I would love to. So.
I know I'll be in it, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I will not watch anything that comes out that day. So nobody needs to stream. Don't even stream.
Just enjoy it.
Because,
just play. Exactly. Nobody can stream Half Life Alyx until March 24th. That way everybody can just jump in there and play the game and enjoy it. I know a lot of people are going to be at work and they're going to be waiting to get home from work to play that game, and they're going to be watching all the streams online. And that's, I mean, hey, some people don't mind the spoilers. Some people don't mind, but man, I don't want to, I don't know that I can watch any, so I'm sorry.
Not when you're living the game. Like you will be living Half-Life. You won't be playing it. You're living it. So I can't wait to upgrade the guns and your hands and stuff. To stick your hand. I won't say more.
And we actually didn't show the videos. We didn't end up showing the videos on here. We just will. I know everybody's probably seen them anyways. Those who want to see them have already seen them, so we won't show them. But good news is you can now. I mean, they showed in the, I think, number 2 video the teleporting, the free locomotion, like the dash system, and as well as one big improvement that I noticed was the ability to climb ladders. I think it was when Tested did their gameplay. You couldn't climb the ladder; you just kind of went up it. Awesome that they've added that kind of. The game's going to be fantastic. There's no, I mean, I don't have any doubt in my mind that the game's going to be freaking fantastic. So I can't wait. But yeah, Funky Deep said 50-50 on taking it off. So
I know it's hard. I know.
Oh, Alex VR, his birthday is on March 23rd. What a fantastic birthday present.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And life-changing.
I don't know if I think he has an index too. So he actually got the game for free for his birthday. So yeah.
That's awesome.
I got it free for his birthday too.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
I just got notification for people retweeting our last tweet and stuff. We really do appreciate everybody,
awesome.
Helping us out. It's so hard for us to get all that stuff out there and quickly with doing everything back here and stuff. And we really do appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. And honestly, thank you for the super chats. Everybody that sent Super Rizzle Rock today sent a super chat. We really appreciate the super chats. Really appreciate the people that signed up for Patreon. We're still learning the Patreon stuff. I think we did post some stuff on Patreon from PAX East. We were trying to. We were crazy busy.
It was nuts, man.
But yeah, and a big thank you to Fluke Rogi, honestly. Fluke Rogi does our timestamps every single week. Every single week that goes in the comments, people ask for timestamps. We put them in there thanks to Fluke Rogi. Really, really, honestly appreciate him. And he's done a lot of other cool stuff. The spinning cup head, we love that. He's actually been working on some other stuff behind the scenes that we're really excited about that we can't talk about yet.
Do you have that in here? Do you have that cup?
No, because what happened was all of our settings got messed up when we went to. Actually, last time I went to Tyler's house, and then my PC at home was fine. I used the laptop here. I logged in, and it messed up all of our settings. So I had to redo everything this morning. So there's a lot of things I don't have in here. But yeah, honestly, huge thank you to him. We really do appreciate it, and we appreciate all the help from everybody.
Oh man, I didn't even get to show anybody my our interview microphone either.
I'm sure they saw some of them. Oh no, they haven't seen any of the videos yet. Yeah, so we had two developers. A lot of times we had them hold the mic and they hand it back and forth. One other thing I did want to mention is that we need some help from everybody in this area. Is we've had for a while now, we've had people asking us to do a podcast version of this to get this. So I wanted to bring that up. I just thought about it, and so we've talked about trying to make a podcast version of this. We don't know where to put it. So.
Right.
Oh, awesome. You got cold yogurt.
Cold yogurt.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
That's
Seriously.
Awesome.
Seriously, we appreciate it so much.
That's super cool, man. We really do appreciate it. Thumbs up.
So if you have a favorite podcast area that you like to listen to, or if you want to help us out in that area or whatever, let us know.
No, we can get it out there. We're new to it. So we don't know where you consume your podcast. If you go for just an audio podcast, let us know what ones you think work best.
And is there a way that you can just upload it into something and it puts it on all the podcasts? Do you have to get approved for each podcast? Like, I don't know how it works. I've never, and most of my stuff that I do all on YouTube. So like all the shows and stuff that I watch are all podcast video version stuff on YouTube. So yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know. I'll call Joe Rogan or something, see where maybe he puts his ad, or I'll ask him.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, like iHeartRadio, I know is like a big one.
I have no idea.
I don't know all of them. I know Apple has their own. I don't know if that segregates. I feel like only if you have an iPhone. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let us know. But we're going to do an audio one. I think we need to do it.
Yeah, we've had people asking for a little while. We just haven't. I mean, it's hard, really, honestly, the time that it takes just to do this show and everything else. It is, we both work full-time jobs, so it is a lot of work sometimes. Yep. But we do want to make that happen because we've had that. So. Yeah, we've had a lot of people ask for that. So, yeah.
Yep.
But
it's coming.
Is it? The Funky Deep sent a super chat. I see it on the chat over here yet, and it hasn't popped up here yet. I don't know if it is, but thank you to him. He sent the rock on hands. So.
Oh, it's coming. They're just delayed because
sometimes they're more delayed than others.
YouTube recognizes it, registers, and then comes through. So there's a little bit. I just happened to
see one on there. So, but some people are talking about the mic and stuff. Yeah, we really appreciate that.
That's
thank
awesome.
you, Funky Deep.
Yeah, and I know he was talking about the Ronin and stuff. I might do a breakdown of that, and I don't know. It was kind of fun. I don't know. It was different.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, for sure. But gaming science teacher said I'd look at Anchor FM.
Yeah.
CS Moy said I use an LE podcast, but hard for you to get cash using podcasts. So we're not really looking to get cash from podcasts or anything. We just really kind of want to. I mean, if people are asking us to do that form and they don't want to always watch on YouTube, we'd like to try to.
Yeah, we just really want it to be easy for everybody if you want to listen and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not about, there's no monetary
Yeah, I mean we don't make a ton of money doing any of this anyways. It's very little, you know what I mean? So
I need to keep my voice down so the wife doesn't hear, but we spend way too much money.
Oh yeah. Just the amount of money we spent going to PAX and getting all the gear for PAX.
Just like games. Like
hopefully my wife's not still in here watching.
Free games, so when we want to try one or people want us to know about something, we go out and buy it. You know what I mean?
We get some, but we haven't in a while. Sometimes people send it to us, but most of the time we buy all the games too.
Yeah.
Like Saints and Sinners, all that kind of stuff,
right.
Yep, but some games they do send to us. But
Yep. All right.
Rizzle Rock said, "What's up with a Patreon update?"
The which one?
Rizzle Rock said, "What's up with a Patreon update?"
Oh, the Patreon update? What do you mean? Oh, the one you were saying?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we did. I don't know if we had a lot there, man. It was just so busy. I tried to, and I wanted to keep posting stuff.
Yeah. We'll try to get some more on there.
Look.
I still need to figure out Patreon. I don't even.
I know you haven't done anything on it hardly.
No.
We need to get a bunch of pictures because actually your wife took a bunch of pictures.
She did take a bunch of pictures
while we were working.
Yeah. So we'll try to get some of that stuff up there.
And I don't have any of those yet, so I do need to get those.
I'll send them to you.
Yep.
So.
Yep, and she's watching, so I'm sure she can send them to me.
Awesome. Well, seriously, we thank everybody so much, and I don't know why the Funky Deeps didn't pop up on our thing. I'm not sure what happened, but thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate all the help and support, and really, we just love hanging out with you guys. Yeah, he does. He does he does DJing stuff. It's pretty cool. So, but yeah, we really do appreciate it, and really just helping to spread the word about our show and stuff that's a lot of help too. So we just really appreciate it. Yeah. So.
All right, guys. I think that's it for us.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Want
to go. It's nice to be back at our own place now. It's so stressful where we were before.
Getting kicked out by. If you didn't watch, at least watch the beginning of the last Coffee and VR show. We were coming live from PAX East. We had everything set up. We were just about to hit that push live button, and the security showed up, kicked us out, found another place for us to go, which worked out probably even a little bit better. But it was a lot of fun. So
we even tried waving our badges and stuff. And they're we didn't. They're like, no, you got to go. Yeah. We're like, all right, fine. Whatever.
But thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, like we said, and we will probably see you some this week. Keep an eye out. We're gonna still have PAX videos coming out, a whole bunch with some really cool games and stuff. So keep an eye out for that, and we will see you next time.
We will.
Yeah, maybe in VR at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out for next week. It's be a little tricky, but I may try and do something from vacation even.
So you're leaving next Friday or Saturday, so we will have to figure that out. Maybe we'll probably either do a live show maybe before he leaves instead of Saturday morning, or we'll go ahead and do Saturday morning with maybe a guest. I know.
I was gonna ask Sebastian if he wanted to come in, but I'd love to be on with him and talk with him.
Yeah, we want to do all three of us at some point, the three of us.
I know, but we'll see.
We'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll figure something out. But just keep an update. Make sure you join the Discord. We'll try to keep everybody updated in there with what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. We keep stalling.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We will catch y'all later.
Yep. Pleasure hanging out. See you here. See you in VR. As always. Later, guys.
Later.